Yesterday, we discussed about the call driver and understanding the call driver. We also discussed about AER statements, right? So AER statement stands for acknowledgement, empathy, and reassurance. It basically helps you to get the trust of your customers. So we also discussed about confirming the information using the phrases, I just want to make sure. Say, for example, I just want to make sure we are looking at the same application, right? So this will be our next topic, walkthrough and troubleshooting. Walkthrough and troubleshooting means explaining a task or process step by step. So this is a very important skill in customer service, all right? You need to learn how to do this clearly without creating confusion on the part of the customer. I have prepared a sample case for the purpose of explanation, right? A customer calls to complain that he couldn't set up his computer with the printer. He couldn't link the printer to the computer. You need to talk the customer through the setup of the process, right? Say, for example, you work for a company that sells printers, right? And your customer calls to complain that he couldn't set up his computer with the printer. You need to talk to the customer through the setup process. Please keep this in mind, okay? You may know the steps by heart, but maybe it's the first time that your customer tried to install the printer and link it to his computer. And he may have no idea how to begin doing it. So, my tip is that be very clear and specific, okay? You also need to keep in mind you are on the phone. That means you have to be very clear and very specific. You cannot combine steps and you have to go through it one step at a time. It's your job to ensure that customers doesn't get overwhelmed or frustrated. Actually, tiny steps broken down into pieces will make things easier for the customer. It is, I mean, it also helps to move along at a regular pace instead of needing to explain things over and over again. Please keep in mind that a missed step will also prolong the process and will, of course, cause inefficiency and frustration from your end and the customer's end. So, another tip, right? This is a very important tip. Always confirm completion after each step, right? Confirm completion before going on to the next step. Always make sure that the last one was done correctly. You can say, are you finished with the step? Let me know if you're done with that step. Please let me know if you're done with that step. Kindly please let me know if you're done with that step. So basically, adding please or kindly gives it a friendlier tone. We need, we don't really need to go over many phrases for this because it would really depend on your company, right? A product or service training by your company will give you more information on standardized step by step walkthroughs, okay? What we'll go through are tips that, to make sure that you as a call center agent will keep the walkthrough efficient. So always remember as well to stay patient with the customer no matter what. All right? Even if they get upset briefly, they will most likely calm down again after, or especially if you yourself are patient and calm. If they see that you're in control mentally, then it really helps make them more comfortable. Now, let's get into a sample walkthrough. Let's start going through the steps in getting this computer set up for the printer, okay? Let's just imagine here that we're on the phone and we need to be extra clear. So we need to say at the beginning, please let me know when you're ready, right? Or are you ready to get started? And when they say they are ready, you probably want to identify the first step to make it clear that it has to be done in the beginning. You have to make sure that you and the customer are aligned that is the first step. Say, for example, okay, customer, The first step is to check if the printer is plugged in. All right. This may seem obvious, but in a lot of troubleshooting cases, some very simple steps are just missed by the customer, right? Another way you can start is to confirm that the first step has been done through the little questions. So one way to really break down steps is to ask little questions to confirm that they see something. All right, say for example, okay, customer, the first step is to check if the power indicator light is blinking. Or do you see the power indicator light? Or do you see it blinking? And if we confirm, you can also say this sentence. Okay, let's move to the next step, right? Always remember that a question format forces them to answer. So always remember to confirm if every step was done correctly so you can proceed to the next step. All right. I have also prepared another sample case for the purpose of explanation, right? A customer calls to complain because he couldn't connect his phone to the internet. You need to walk through the customer, right? Let's say you work for an internet service provider. She calls or he calls because he couldn't connect his phone to the Wi-Fi. Now, your job is to make sure that you will explain every single step to the customer, right? So let's watch a sample video.
This is a property of Mentorpoint. This is an example of a call center conversation between a customer and an agent who is trying to help the customer connect their phone to the internet. The agent guides the customer through a troubleshooting process by asking questions, providing instructions, and offering suggestions until the issue is resolved. The conversation involves checking for a stable internet connection, checking the Wi-Fi settings on the phone, and attempting to connect to the Wi-Fi network. The goal of the call center script is to provide a positive customer experience by resolving the issue and leaving the customer satisfied. Let's listen to the call.
Hi, thank you for calling our customer support center. My name is Jane. How can I assist you today?
Hi, Jane. I'm having trouble connecting my phone to the internet. Can you help me? I can't watch my favorite TV show.
Sure, I'd be happy to help you with that. Could I have your first and last name, please?
My name is Joe Smith.
Thanks for confirming, Joe. Let's start by checking a few things. First, can you please confirm if you have a stable internet connection on your other devices like your laptop or tablet?
Yes, I have a stable internet connection on my laptop and tablet.
Okay, great. Let's move on to your phone. Can you please tell me the make and model of your phone?
It's an iPhone X.
Thank you. Now, please check if your phone's Wi-Fi is turned on. You can do this by going to Settings and selecting Wi-Fi.
Okay, I'm on the Wi-Fi page. What's next?
Great. Could you please check if the Wi-Fi button is switched on?
No, it's switched off. Is it supposed to be turned on?
Yes, please switch it on and wait for a few seconds. Do you see your Wi-Fi network on the list of available networks?
Oh, there. Yes, I see it now.
Perfect. Please select your Wi-Fi network and enter the password.
Okay, I entered the password, but it's not connecting. What's happening?
How about this? Let's try forgetting the network and then reconnecting. Please tap on the icon next to your Wi-Fi network and select Forget this network. After that, go back to the Wi-Fi page, select your network again, and enter the password.
Hold on a sec. Please bear with me, Jane.
No, you're good. Don't worry.
Wow. Okay, I did what you said, and it's working now. Thank you so much for your help.
You're welcome, Joe. I'm glad I was able to assist you connect your phone to the internet today. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
Nah, you've been very helpful. Thanks again.
It was my pleasure helping you today, Joe. I don't want to take much of your time. Thank you for calling Customer Support Center. Once again, this is Jane. Have a great day.
All right. So what do you guys think happened? Right? This is what actually happened. The agent guides the customer through a troubleshooting process by asking questions, providing instructions, and offering suggestions. Okay, the conversation involves checking for a stable internet connection, checking the Wi-Fi settings on the phone, and attempting to connect to the Wi-Fi network. So basically, the issue was resolved by the agent. So let's do a knowledge check. Right? Walk through in the context of customer service means A. Explaining a task or process step by step. B. Walking through a place. C. Explaining a step in a process. D. None of the above. The correct answer for this one would be A. Explaining a task or a process step by step. Remember that you need to go through a step one step at a time. Next, to do a successful walkthrough, you need to keep in mind that you are on the phone. And that means you have to be very clear and very specific during the walkthrough. What should be your number one rule? Define each word to the customer. You cannot combine steps, you have to go through it one by one. Breeze through the steps so you don't end up wasting the customer's time. D, all of the above. Right? So the right answer for this one would be letter B, right? Of course, you cannot combine steps. You have to go through it one by one. Next, how do you make sure that you can move on to the next step in the walkthrough process? A, if the customer stopped talking, it must be a sign that he's ready for the next step. B, trust your gut feeling. C, confirm completion before you're going to the next step. Always make sure that the last one was done correctly. Obviously, the answer for this would be letter C. Always confirm completion before going on to the next step. Always remember or keep it in mind that a missed step will make it prolonged, right? Will definitely prolong the process. Next, true or false. Adding please or kindly gives your phrases a friendlier tone. And of course, the answer would be true. All right. So this will be your next lesson, simple communication gaps. Right. Basically, in this lesson, we're going to talk about communication gaps. So a communication gap happens when one person says something that other person either doesn't understand or understands incorrectly. So it can actually happen for many reasons, okay? It can happen because one person didn't communicate clearly. Two, it can happen because one person isn't really paying attention at all. Three, it can happen because one person didn't use the right words. Fourth, it can happen because of a technical issue, like a phone signal problem. Maybe there's a lag on the phone connection. Maybe it's related to accent. Right? There are lots of other reasons, but the key message here is that you need to ensure that you are on the same page with the customer that you're talking with. You want to have the same understanding with no confusion. You want to avoid confusion, okay? If the customer calls with a heavy accent, you cannot say, "Hey, I don't understand you because of your accent." No, you can't use that. Instead, focus on resolving the problem. Use gentle language and ask for repetition, right? Gentle language means phrases that make the customer feels comfortable, as we have discussed in our previous lessons. There's a way to use gentle language, okay? You can say, "Could you please repeat that again, please? Could you please repeat what you just said?" If you just want to state that you didn't understand, you can definitely do that. Just say it without pointing out to the accent as a problem because that may be insulting to the customer's part. You want to avoid that. right? You could also say, I didn't quite get that part. Could you say that again? Or you could say, I didn't understand that part. Could you say that again? Right? In this part, you are saying that you didn't understand, but you are not accusing the customer like it's her or his fault. And this part, it's not I didn't understand you was the wrong, okay? It's just that saying I didn't quite makes it very gentle and indirect. Right, next, would you mind saying that once more? This one feels more formal, in case you want that tone, okay? I'm sorry I wasn't able to catch that, right? Now, why would you say I'm sorry if it's not your fault? We've actually been through this in one of our lessons. Well, you can use the word sorry just a way to say whoops, right? Whoops, or I. Basically, when some sort of mistake has been made, it doesn't mean that we feel sorry, okay? It doesn't mean that we're admitting like it's our fault or anything like that. I'm sorry I didn't quite catch you. And we often say it very quickly, not like groveling with apologies. And I mean, it just makes the sentence feel more polite. Right? Confirming that you understood, right? Confirming that you finally understood. Question: how can you confirm information to make sure that you have finally understood something correctly, right? Here are some phrases or common phrases to achieve that. All right. Can I just confirm? Adding the word just gives it a friendlier tone. Remember, in this course, we're also talking about the emotions that we create for the customer as a way to make them feel more comfortable. Say, for example, can I just confirm that you said you want to downgrade your postpaid plan? All they have to do then is say yes. This is the most basic way to confirm. Let's say you ask for a phone number and the customer gives the information 912-2756. The best way to confirm it is to repeat the information back to the customer. Say, for example, let me just repeat that back to you 912-2756. Did I get that right? Or say, so let me just confirm by repeating it back to you 912-2756. Did I get that right? So, question again. What about for the names? As mentioned in our previous lessons, knowing the phonetic alphabet would actually help a lot, okay? The example we previously had was to make sure you don't mistake Victor to Victor or Murphy to Murphy. For example, I would like to confirm that your last name is Murphy, right? As in Mama, Uniform, Romeo, Tango, Hotel, Yankee, right? So let's try and do a quick knowledge check. What is communication gap? A communication gap happens when a person says something that the other person either doesn't understand or understands incorrectly. B, a communication gap is when there is a big distance between people talking. C, a communication gap happens when you don't have anyone to talk to. Obviously, the correct answer for this one is A, right? A communication gap happens when one person says something that the other person either doesn't understand or understands incorrectly. Next, you need to ensure that you are on the same page with the customer that you're talking with because A, you're like reading a page together with the customer. B, you want to avoid confusion. C, the right page for the manual should be followed. Of course, obviously, the right answer for this one is you want to avoid confusion. Next, in customer service, it is important to focus on resolving the problem. Use gentle language and ask for repetition. Gentle language means phrases that A makes or make customer feel uncomfortable. B make your skin soft and smooth. C. Make the customers feel comfortable. And obviously, the right answer for this one is make the customers feel comfortable. Next question. What phrases can you say to ask a customer to repeat information? A. Could you repeat that again, please? B. I didn't quite get that part. Could you say that again? C. Would you mind saying that once more? Or D. All of the above. And obviously, the right answer for this one is D. All of the above. Right? Remember that using a phrase, or I didn't quite get that part, is actually a polite way. Or would you mind saying that? All right. Next one. What is a phrase you can use to confirm information just to make sure that you have finally understood something correctly? A. Can I just confirm? B. Can you repeat that again? C. I'm sorry I didn't quite catch you. D. None of the above. All right. Answer for this one is can I just confirm? Remember, you are already confirming the information. So the phrases or the right phrase to use is just can I just, all right? Can I just confirm? You will only use can you repeat that again if you didn't heard what the customer just said. You will only use I'm sorry I didn't quite catch you if you didn't understand what the customer just said. All right? Next would be handling irate customers. Handling Karens, as we say. So, dealing with irate or upset customers is probably one of the reasons why call center agents refuse to continue their career in the industry, right? There are types of customers who are extremely angry, frustrated, or dissatisfied with the services that they received. These customers may have experienced an issue with a product or service provided by a company, or they may have encountered a problem with the way their query or complaint was handled by a customer service representative, okay? So, irate customers can be a significant challenge for companies in the BPO industry, as they can damage a company's reputation, lead to negative word of mouth, and result in loss of business. So, that's how powerful irate customers are. So, handling irate customers effectively requires well trained customer service representatives who can remain calm, empathetic, and professional in the face of angry or upset customers. So, companies may also implement procedures for handling irate customers, such as providing specific training for customer service representatives or offering compensation or refunds to appease the dissatisfied customers. So basically, by the end of this lesson, you will know the different ways to communicate with irate customers. Right. Customer service is all about people. Right. If you understand people better, you can, of course, support better. So practicing empathy every day will help you do that. Empathy can be essentially characterized by asking yourself the following questions. Right. How would I feel if I traded places with a person? What would my expectations be if the roles were reversed? So sorry, if the roles were reversed. Regardless of the rules, is there anything I can do to help the customer? At the end of the day, what kind of response would make the customer happy or satisfied? If I can't accomplish this, can I find someone who can? In this lesson, you will learn phrases to help you handle situations where the customers are upset. So let's see the sample case I prepared. Right. A customer calls Mentorpoint Mobile because he's been waiting too long for his effective SIM card to be replaced, right? Sometimes some circumstances like this arise. That means that the customer is waiting longer than usual. How do you handle those particularly upset about it? Now, I want you to put yourself in that situation of that customer. If you have been waiting for longer than the committed date of the delivery, you will also feel a bit disappointed, right? What if he's about to travel to another country and needs it on a specific date? What if he's waiting for an important call to that number? Some customers may remain polite given the situation, but some customers may get really upset. It's very important to understand that they are upset about the situation and not you personally. So, if you have the right frame of mind, then you will be able to keep your mind rational to be able to help them solve the problem. Right. It's also very important to let them know that you acknowledge their frustration. So, next thing to do is it's very important to let them know that you empathize with them, but not in a way that puts the company in a bad situation, okay? So always keep in mind that a combination of acknowledgement and empathy, or a combination of simple apology or acknowledgement and empathy, usually works, right? Say, for example, right? I'm sorry to hear that you haven't received your SIM card yet. I will do my best to help you find out what caused the delay, right? Please keep in mind that you said sorry not to apologize, like it's your own personal fault, but sorry because you simply empathize with them. In that sentence, you also offer promise of help. It shows that you're ready to help them resolve the issue. Another way to say it is this way: sorry that happened to your replacement order. Let's figure out what happened so I can help solve the issue for you. Or you could say, I understand, I know how you feel. I will do my best to help you find out what caused the delay. Right? I understand, I know how you feel. Then combine it with a reassurance statement, which is I will do my best to help you find out what caused the delay, will actually help you. Right? There's also the key that your voice reflects concern, that you are genuinely concerned, right? And you acknowledge their frustration, that you also want to resolve that issue as quickly as possible, right? This basically separates good customer service people from the rest. So those who have authentic, genuine concern in voice delivery is included in the art of customer service. Always keep in mind that you have the role to play, and that's to help. It makes customer feel like they're talking to a real person rather than a robot, right? Always keep in mind that people who sound kind of fake, like they're forcing it, maybe struggle a bit to make customers trust them and feel like they really empathize.